That best distance, best timing, only one chance. 1, 2, 3. You got to get it at the right time, right? And that's difficult because you're too early, it doesn't work. Too late doesn't work either. 1, 2. They use that idea of the apple. You don't want to pick it too early, but you aren't picking it up off the ground. Strike, rotate, side kick, break the arm. In the Budo Ryu Kai, it talks about when you're using the principles of swordsmanship is the same principles within Ninjutsu, and he talks about timing with the sword. He says if you're with this person, I'm with this person, we're in a fighting position, and of course in this case he's talking about them having swords, but we're in a fighting stance. If I try to cut him down, meaning I try to attack him, when he hasn't given me an opening, just go to fighting stance. If you're here and you've trained in combative techniques, fighting, you know, you've done this for years, and I just say, fuck it, I'm gonna throw a punch, and I come in here, you're gonna block it. That's what you're gonna do. So you can't just go at somebody because they're gonna block, and then if I do this, he's gonna block it and then hit me or do whatever he's doing, right? So you've gotta be able to take advantage and get them to make a move to give an opening. And that's what he's saying. He goes, you can't strike if they're not closing in, just like you can't strike when they're moving away. You have to strike when it's time to strike. So you got to create those opportunities, right? And that's what I'm saying, is that, so even in all of these texts, they're really talking about this concept of timing and taking advantage of those opportunities, those moments. And one of the things we talk about in classical Budo, right, in the Koryu, is best timing, best distance, only one chance. Because no matter what techniques you do in all the self-defense, it's always the last one that finishes, right? Even though it's the last swing of the hammer that breaks the rock, that doesn't mean necessarily the first swing was useless. It just means the last one finished it. So we study all these techniques to do that one technique to end. And that one technique is always at that moment when you've taken advantage of the timing. That's when you really capitalize. I mean, how many times have you guys seen, even use sport martial arts example, they've been going for a couple rounds and he's tired, and now that he's tired, he starts bringing his hands down. And then there's the body shot. He does this, and then there's the hook to the head, KO, 7th round. Because it's time, and I'm using that in a sports sense. That you're not gonna get 7 rounds on the street. Self-defense is less than 60 seconds. I mean, if you're going longer than 60 seconds, whoever's attacking you they didn't plan that shit out at all. You know what I'm saying? So you have to be able to see your opponent as an opportunity and see exactly what it is that you need to hit at the moment that you need it at this specific motion. So let's come over here real quick so they can get the thing. So let's say he's walking up, and let's say it's a verbal threat, right? And we did this like last week in the dojo, but we're gonna kind of build off of it. If he's walking up talking shit, as soon as he's talking shit, stop him from talking shit. You know, most of our techniques is if they hit with this, we hurt that arm. They kick with that leg, we kick the leg. Well, if he's talking, the easiest way to get him from stop talking is grab him by his damn throat, and now he's not gonna be talking so much. What is he gonna do? Grab my hand. Grab him by the face and rip his eyes out and drop him to the ground and stomp his head into the ground. I don't need to tap his ass out. I don't need a trophy. I'm just gonna his ass up so I can get home to my kids. And that mentality, I'm trying to be like, oh shit, since they had too much coffee, I'm trying to relay how I think when that moment happens. And I don't need you guys to practice like that, because then we practice like a bunch of assholes. But I need you to be able to turn that shit on. If someone's trying to hurt you in any way at all, without them saying it, the way you look at this is that is absolute disrespect. What he's saying is, the $5 that I'm gonna have in my pocket is worth less than the moment I get with my kids or my wife or you guys or family or whatever I'm doing. He sees me as less than that. I don't need to show this guy shit except the ground.